For stabilization, at first for the chest and back, what I'm having Mike do is balance himself on this ball and then work on doing some nice flies with the dumbbells. Now he's going light and focusing mainly on keeping himself balanced, staying on that ball and moving at a nice controlled pace. In combination, or superset if you will, with the flies that he's been doing on the balance ball or exercise ball, I'm also having Mike do some pull-ups. Now there's not really a whole lot of stabilization that goes into this, but building up the strength to be able to do pull-ups is very key, and a lot of people skip over this and focus on other back exercises. So this is definitely a foundation move that everybody really ought to be doing, and that it's going to help Mike out a lot as we move forward. For the arms, I'm having Mike do single leg double bicep curls. This allows him to focus on the prime mover of his biceps while at the same time continuing to work on that stabilization, so that once those stabilizers get engaged, they help hold him into place. Supersetting with the single leg bicep curls, Mike is also doing a two-hand overhead press with the dumbbell. For this, I do have him standing with both feet flat on the ground, so he's not really having to focus too much on his proprioception or stabilization, if you will. But at the same time, there's still a little bit involved even when he's standing with both feet on the ground. And this enables him to really focus on the prime movers of the triceps instead of having to focus on trying to just stay upright while he has weight over his head. For shoulders, I'm having Mike do single leg scaption. So once again, he's balancing on one foot while he's moving the weight, which again, as I've said several times, engages his stabilizers in a proprioceptively enriched environment. Now, the way that he's using the weight, or lifting the weight, is up at a 45-degree angle from his body as he engages his shoulders and raises the weight. This is a nice, safe way of engaging his deltoids without having to strain them at all. To finish off his workout, I'm having Mike do some core stabilization and strengthening exercises. So first, he's got this plate and he's using his oblique to move it back and forth or up and down. He's going to be doing that on each side, strengthening up those obliques. And then after that, he's going to drop down onto the mat. Now after Mike's gotten done with the plate on both sides, drop him down to the mat here. And what he's doing is just getting some rotations in. Now this is working the core as he keeps himself stabilized, keeping his back up off the mat, and it's also working his interior and exterior obliques as they're holding and twisting him around. So this is a nice overall core exercise. Now when he gets a little bit more advanced, we're going to get him to the point that his feet will actually be coming up off the mat as he moves through the exercise. Okay, now today I've mentioned the term proprioception. I haven't used that a lot before. Basically what that means is when we're working on stabilization, we're working on proprioception. That means that, let's say here, I'm raising this bottle, I'm not looking at my hand, but I still know what I'm doing. My body is still moving the way that it ought to without me having to directly focus on it. And that's really what the stabilization exercises are all about, is being able to do a motion with all the muscles working together in order to keep one person either upright, in place the way that they're supposed to, or even in fluid motion. And then once all that gets worked properly through the proprioceptively enriched environments, that's when you're able to really have the proper form that you need for going nice and heavy.